The Great War is over, and reeling from the humiliations of defeat and gripped by the chaos of a socialist revolution, the city of Munich wears its wounds openly. It is a cold, bleak night. A shadowy figure makes his way down Marstallstrasse. To avoid unwanted attention, he makes his way to a side entrance of the Four Seasons Hotel. Here, he slips through a servant's door, bypassing the busy main lobby. He makes his way to a private suite, discreetly situated on an upper floor of the luxurious hotel. Here, a gathering is taking place. Not of ordinary guests, but of a clandestine group of conspirators and visionaries, driven by an unyielding nationalism and a burning desire to see Germany reborn out of its current chaos. A man of commanding presence rises from his seat to address his comrades. His words are heavy with the promise of resurrection, of a new dawn, born from the blood of the ancient Aryans, whose legacy is etched into every fiber of their being. It's a promise to reclaim a forgotten past and usher in a future where ancient Aryan wisdom and national pride will define a new Germany, a Germany stronger than ever before. The Thule Society quietly emerged in the shadows of a Germany struggling to come to terms with the aftermath of one of history's most devastating conflicts, the First World War. The nation was grappling with the physical and economic ruin left by a long war, while at the same time facing a crisis of identity and purpose. With the fall of the Kaiser and the collapse of the old order, the social and political landscape was rapidly transforming in ways no German could have previously imagined. Disillusionment and uncertainty permeated every area of society. Inflation soared, and the once familiar institutions of authority appeared impotent in the face of such rapid and dramatic change. For many, the loss of traditional certainties led to an intense yearning for stability. A stability that could be found, in their view, in a return to a purer mythic past. It was during this time of crisis that interest in occult and mystical ideas, which had been on the rise since the late 1800s, continued to grow. Long before the Great War, Germany had witnessed a resurgence in occultism and romanticism. Intellectuals, artists, and mystics had delved into ancient symbols, forgotten rituals, and mystical lore as part of a broader cultural movement. This long-standing interest didn't fade when modern society emerged. Rather, the turbulence of post-war society amplified the appeal of these traditions. As people sought to reassert a sense of meaning and identity in an era of rapid change, the fascination with occult knowledge and ancient myths proved to be both a refuge and a rallying point. In this environment, the Thule Society found its footing as a group of nationalists and intellectuals who believed that reconnecting with the mystical traditions of ancient Germanic and Indo-European culture would restore a sense of purpose and unity. While many accounts cast the Thule Society as mysterious custodians of ancient occult wisdom, the truth is, the society was a blend of politics and esoteric rhetoric. The founders truly believed they were the keepers of a hidden heritage, guardians of symbols, rituals, and myths that promised not only personal enlightenment, but also the revival of a lost national greatness. Yet, beneath the mystic veneer lay a more pragmatic ambition. The occult imagery wasn't an end, it was a useful tool to inspire and mobilize. By invoking the glory of an exalted past, the society aimed to stoke national pride and catalyze radical political change. In this way, while the Thule Society did embrace occult ideas, their primary mission was far more political: to reshape German identity and restore its former greatness. The Thule Society originated as a cover name for the Munich branch of the Germanenorden Blueprint of the Holy Grail, a splinter group from the larger Germanenorden. It started as Walter Neuhaus's study group for Germanic antiquity. The Germanenorden was a secret society with strong beliefs about racial purity. They were also deeply anti-Freemason, believing Freemasons were part of a plot against Germans. This pre-existing framework of racial ideology and secrecy within the Germanenorden significantly shaped the Thule Society's foundational principles. The Germanenorden's requirement for members to prove their purity of blood and its anti-Semitic stance were directly inherited by the Thule Society. Furthermore, the hierarchical fraternal structure of the Germanenorden was modeled after Freemasonry, likely providing an organizational blueprint for the Thule Society. The man credited with formally establishing the society was Rudolf von Sebottendorf, a well-traveled occultist, astrologer, and Freemason with a deep fascination for Eastern mysticism and esoteric teachings. Born Adam Alfred Rudolf Glauer in 1875, Sebottendorf claimed to have been initiated into secret Sufi orders while living in the Ottoman Empire. Upon his return to Germany, he became involved with the Germanenorden and, in 1918, founded the Munich-based Thule Society as its Bavarian offshoot. Sebottendorf envisioned Thule as more than just a nationalist club. It was to be a spiritual order, one that would use occult knowledge to awaken the supposed hidden potential of the German people. Early key members of the Thule Society included Karl Harrer, a sports journalist for the Münchener Beobachter, a newspaper linked to the early nationalist and folkish movements in Munich; Hans Frank, a young lawyer who would go on to become Hitler's personal legal advisor, and the Governor-General of occupied Poland, as well as Dietrich Eckart, a poet and playwright turned political agitator who was one of Hitler's earliest mentors. The Thule Society took its name from Thule, a mythical land described in ancient Greek texts as the northernmost edge of the known world. To the society, however, Thule was more than just a geographic concept. It was a symbol of a lost Aryan homeland, a place of supreme wisdom and power. They believed that this primordial civilization had been the source of an advanced esoteric tradition, fragments of which survived in runes, symbols, and ancient texts. Membership in the Thule Society was selective. While it attracted academics, aristocrats, and ex-military officers, its core ideology was deeply intertwined with far-right nationalism and anti-Semitism. The group subscribed to the idea that Germany's decline was the result of a conspiracy orchestrated by Jews, Marxists, and foreign influences. These beliefs were not unique to Thule. Many folkish organizations held similar views, but the Thule Society's willingness to translate ideology into action set it apart from the rest. One of the most notable instances of this came in April 1919, when the Thule Society played a role in the violent overthrow of the short-lived Bavarian Soviet Republic. In the chaotic aftermath of World War I, socialist and communist uprisings had spread across Germany. In Munich, revolutionaries declared a Soviet-style government. The Thule Society, viewing this as a direct threat to their nationalist cause, supplied arms and intelligence to the paramilitary forces that helped crush the uprising. Several Thule members were arrested and executed by the revolutionary government before it was ultimately defeated by the Freikorps, a loose collection of right-wing militias. By the early 1920s, the Thule Society had already begun to fade as an organized group, but its influence did not disappear. Many of its members went on to join or support the newly formed German Workers' Party founded by Anton Drexler in January 1919, which soon became the NSDAP, better known as the Nazi Party. The Society's financial and ideological backing helped provide the foundation for what would later become Hitler's political movement. Over the decades, the Thule Society's true nature has been distorted by conspiracy theories, sensationalist literature, and popular culture, leading to a much inflated sense of its occult practices and its role in shaping the Nazi regime. While the Society undoubtedly played a part in the ideological landscape of early 20th century Germany, separating fact from fiction is essential to understanding its real significance. One of the most persistent myths is that Thule was a secret occult order that directly guided Hitler and the Nazi leadership. This idea has been fueled by books, documentaries, and films that portray the Society as a shadowy cabal engaged in mystical rites and supernatural pursuits. While some Thule members were fascinated by esoteric traditions, the group functioned more as a political and social club than a clandestine occult lodge. Its meetings were often focused on nationalist politics rather than mystical initiation rituals. Its primary concern was promoting folkish ideology rather than uncovering ancient secrets. Another exaggerated claim is the Thule possessed deep arcane knowledge about lost civilizations, Atlantis, or secret Aryan origins. While some members entertained such ideas, particularly in the broader context of the German occult revival, there is no evidence that the Society had access to any hidden wisdom or ancient texts. Many of these myths stem from post-war writers who sought to frame the Nazis as being driven by dark, supernatural forces, rather than by political and ideological extremism. Ultimately, while the Thule Society was a real organization with connections to early Nazi figures, its actual influence is likely less dramatic than previous accounts suggest. While it played a role in fostering nationalist ideologies, it did not possess secret knowledge or control the National Socialist leadership from the shadows. The true danger of the Thule Society wasn't in any mystical power it wielded, but in the ideas it spread. Ideas that would find a far deadlier expression after the Society faded from existence. Thank you for watching.